Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni Ajishafe. Well, what a night for Arsenal and Chelsea. We'll be talking about that because really, Chelsea fans are really not feeling too good right now worldwide. Well, welcome you once again on the show. We start with a Nigerian story alongside Emmanuel Fashion. Good to have you, Emmanuel.
Thanks for having me.
Well, IMC reassures stakeholders on MPFL fixtures completion in May. Well, news have been featuring going around that the league will be able to complete by May, but right now they are saying yes, the league will actually end by May. For the fact that they will be delaying in Group B doesn't mean that's going to be the end. They will make sure the league ends, and they also get to do the Super 6 coming from the IMC Interim Management Committee.
Yeah, a good one for the Interim Management Committee, the IMC, after the NFF has set up the stakeholders and whatever you have there. But for the IMC, I think the ending of the league in May is sacrosanct, according to the operating officer of that league, that is Davison, who will be the head. And it's just good we have the league ends in May, because it's going to bring us back to the normal calendar of the season we have, because this is an average season, and it's going to give room for us to start the proper season where we have 38 matches, because the average season, sincerely speaking, has actually taken that, let me say, that steam out of everybody, the players, the coaches, the administrators, and everybody, the media. It was not really easy running an average league, 18 matches, and you have to play a marathon race, and that is what it is. But for the IMC, if eventually they end the league in May, it's a good one.
Let's see how it's going to be, because Nigerians can't wait to see their big league coming to conclusion, and then we see the Super 6 to know the winner of the MPFL for this season. It's been a big one. They are also in the NWFL, although that has been suspended indefinitely for now. And quickly, let's talk about yesterday, a big one in that game between Arsenal and Chelsea. Arsenal beat Chelsea at Emirates. It was a night for Odegaard and also Gabriel Jesus there. They were able to defeat Chelsea, and that has taken it to the top of the EPL.
A good one for Arsenal after after that 3 games that they drew, and they lost 6 points. They lost, and Manchester City was able to win theirs and went to the top of the table in just 36 hours. But as it stands right now, Arsenal is back to the top with Manchester City having the game in hand. And for Chelsea, it's not a good one at this point in time. Chelsea is not really finding it funny, and for Lampard, for the whole team, even Todd Welly, the owner, they are not finding it funny. And for Chelsea, they've lost 6 games in a row. This is the first time it will happen since 1993, and they lost to Madrid home and away. They started with Wolves. That was Lampard's first game. He lost to Wolves, he lost to Brighton, he lost to Real Madrid, and now he has lost to Arsenal. It's not just looking good for Chelsea. I feel for them, because this is a team that normally they call themselves the pride of London, and as when Chelsea is playing right now, you see the morale. Even the fans are not happy. Even the players, they are asking questions, what is really going on? And at this point in time, there are no answers, because they really want to give their best. Because if you watch that game last night, the players actually brought out their hearts out to play, but the result didn't go their way despite the consolation goal. But at the end of the day, I think Arsenal was all over Chelsea. Arsenal was the better side, but at the same time, Chelsea upped their game. If they had played some of their matches the way they play, I think the way they played Real Madrid and Arsenal last night was different from the way they played Brighton and other matches that they lost. But at the end of the day, Arsenal got the better side of Chelsea. I know Chelsea will bounce back. It's just a phase at this point in time. All they need to do is to just get it right. For me, Lampard is not the man for the job. They would have leave Thomas Tuchel, or better still, get somebody who can turn things around, or even leave the Graham Potter that they sacked. They wouldn't have sacked Graham Potter. Things would have turned around. But I still feel the owner of Chelsea is still trying to dictate the pace. allow the coaches to do their job. Most of the players, the coaches don't have input. I can say this, they don't have input. They just sign the players. Okay, we have bought this team, let's sign these players, let's see what will happen. Things are not done that way.
It's not working because despite all the young stars they got, it seems it's not really working.
Psychologically, that team is down. The players need, we forget what they are playing on the pitch.
From the way it is right now, it seems that they need a coach who can actually instill that winning mentality to them. And let's see if everything goes well with Pochettino, being mooted that is coming to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, maybe you'll be able to turn things around. From the look on your face, it seems you are not too
I'm not too comfortable with Pochettino, but at the same time, on the other hand, he has been in England. He was in England before he left with Tottenham. That is in London, so he understands the culture. If they bring in him better to see how he can at least take Chelsea out of this.
So who are you comfortable with?
I would have been comfortable with Julian Nagelsmann, but they say he's too young. He can't actually control
I'm sure Chelsea, they were trying to look at what happened. I remember when they got Villas-Boas then. Andre Villas-Boas came and he was very young compared to Lampard, Terry and all of them. He did his best, but so Chelsea were trying to be careful not to allow what happened then to repeat itself. Looking at Nagelsmann being younger than some of, you know, you look at that, okay, there are some players here and the Silva.
He can't actually, but I think the players would have put that aside and then, okay, let's
it's not the decision of the player to sign the coach. So.
Yes, that's the truth.
Anyway, we've been talking about the EPL, well, the match between Chelsea and Arsenal, and the favor of the Gunners there. They added more points, and now looking at the way the table is standing, Arsenal are back to the top now, 2 points ahead of Man City. Would they be able to sustain this? Man City have 2 games in hand to play, and that's is a plus for Manchester City. And now, if you look at it, Arsenal, well, despite the fact that they are ahead with 2 points, those 2 matches, you can tell Man City will also want to blow it away.
Well, for Manchester City, the league is now open for them to also chase. So 2 points ahead of them is it can be gotten. 2 games in hand. If they win the 2 games, they will be back to the summit of the table.
Well, right now, if you flip it from 11 to 20, well, Chelsea really, after losing, they still maintain that number 12. Maybe the Jesse, let's not go there. I don't want to.
Well, for Chelsea, they remained on 11th position for so long. And last weekend, after Crystal Palace were able to win their win, at least if you don't want to move, Crystal Palace say we'll move you, and they dropped to 12. Now they've lost, they are still on the 12th position. Maybe, just maybe.
Let's see how it's going to be for Chelsea, the Blues, really. A good club in London, one of the best when it comes to football in the world. But right now, things are not going well with Stamford Bridge-based team there. Now, from there, let's talk about La Liga. Matches were played, and a big one for Barcelona. But for Real Madrid, what's happening to Real too? Even though they are doing well in Europe, but they are not getting it right at home. Sociedad did well against them. Former player of Real Madrid, Kubo, was able to score one of the goals. Barcelona won against Osasuna 1-0. Almeria 2, Elche 1. And if you look at the way the table is right now, Barcelona, I think from the way it is, they just have maybe 2 more points, and they will actually scoop La Liga.
2 more points. Already the league has been won by Barcelona. What Real Madrid is doing is to gather more points and see how they can at least also finish high. And they are on the 68 points. They still have some points to gather and prepare themselves for Europe. But at the same end, I think Barcelona and Real Madrid are struggling. Both teams are actually struggling because Barcelona had to struggle to beat Osasuna. And for Real Madrid, after they lost previous weekend, they had to win last weekend, and now they've lost again. So they are comfortable where they are.
Well, you think they are comfortable?
They are comfortable.
Anyway, let's leave Spain now and quickly talk about a French player, rather French Ligue 1 player. That is PSG Messi. Lionel Messi right now is under suspension for 2 weeks for the fact that he traveled to Saudi Arabia unauthorized.
I think what PSG is trying to tell Messi, you are not bigger than the club. At least before a player moves, it has to be sanctioned by the board of the club. At least you must give them details of where your movement, where you are going to, and at some point you can just give them a look.
I think we should look at both sides of the story. News had it that okay, Messi before they went to travel, he wanted to travel. They okay, we can go, but later they called for an urgent team meeting or thereabout.
Yeah, he would have honor the urgent meeting and then maybe reschedule his traveling plan. But I think PSG needs to come out with this hammer so that they will not say they are trying to protect him. Is just like every other player in that team, and that is what PSG has done. So I don't see any reason why Messi shouldn't serve the ban.
From the way it is right now, I hope this won't be the end of the marriage. It could be.
Well, he at least there are rumors that he wants to go back to Barcelona.
Well, let's see, maybe that'll be happening. Lionel Messi under suspension there for traveling to Saudi Arabia, unauthorized, coming from PSG hierarchy there. Well, we've been talking with Emmanuel Fashimi, giving you updates concerning sporting activities across the globe. Well, right now, we're going on a short break. By the time we return, we'll talk about Nigerian sport, grassroots sport development, that has to do with handball. Stay with us.
We present this jersey to Wali Area Council as our contribution to handball grassroots development. And we are presenting this jersey. It's just our own contribution to bringing out handball players from the grassroots is our mission focus. To you as our own contribution for the development of handball in the area council.
This jersey is from one of my favorite teams. Ranika Lovin, they're called the Young Lions.
Hand to hand.
1, 2, 3.
Hand to hand.
Please, you understand? Wait. I'll go. Be physically and mentally fit, which you are. Keep on doing this. I will continue to support you guys. We have to visit guys. You guys put it on now, and you can go back. I want to see what. Thank you very much. Let's call the coaches back. All the coaches for all.
Good to have you back on the show. There we've been talking about handball development and also sport development in Nigeria, and really it's a good one to have Nigerians coming back anywhere they are from the whole world trying to develop sport in this country. Really, sport can really change a lot of things, and that's why we have in the studio in person of Richard Agbonifo, international handball player, who right now is making sure Nigerian kids, Nigerian children out there get necessary support that they deserve while they do their schooling and also go into sport. Good to have you, Richard Agbonifo.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, you just saw there sharing training kit and all that. First of all, let's know about how this actually come about.
Yeah, first of all, it came about when I came one time on holiday back to Nigeria to watch a handball game, and I saw that there's a lot of talent in Nigeria, but nobody is helping them succeed in life. And this was what actually sparked the the reason for me to start this foundation in Germany and also in Nigeria, to help kids grow, help them in the smallest ways to grow. The things we think are small are actually big. For example, the training kits they need, the support from transportation to training, and also for the competitions, also getting them to competitions, and of course education, which is it's a very, very key part of sports. Also, it goes hand in hand. One doesn't come and the other one doesn't go. So it goes hand in hand. Education and sport goes hand in hand. So I decided, yeah, what can I do to help my own country? Because people think, okay, I left for Germany, I forgot. No, I know that my country needs help. So I said, okay, let me do something, and hopefully others will follow suit.
Now, looking at these kids, I can see how happy they actually are getting to wear jersey, getting balls, and playing together as a team. When you were like this, I remember you play under 12, one of the foremost under 12 in FCT.
Yes.
How was it?
It's funny you said that, because when I was playing handball as under 12, I only had one shoe for like 2 years, and I had one sports shoe for like 2 years, and I had my socks, which I was using. I keep on telling the story for a year. So when the socks has holes, I get another socks and wear 2 or 3 socks just to make sure I have the socks to wear. It's not that my mother was poor or that we don't have anything. It's just that here in Nigeria, we lay emphasis on other things and think sports is for people who don't have anything to do or people who are not intelligent. But that's not the fact, because sport helps the mind, spirit, and the body. So if you are fit physically, the chance that you're going to be fit mentally is like 80%. So that's why even in Europe and everywhere else in the world, they teach their children from the age of 5, 6 to go out and do sports. So this is for me. This is. For us at that time, or even now, we do not have any support. I would say, unfortunately, also from our sports councils, from our area council, there was no support. They just want to see us playing. And kids don't need much. They don't need salaries. They just want to play. They want to play handball and their talent. And if we can use our chance and the channel which we have to channel this talent, which we are already actually #1 in the world when it comes to sports, because we are doing our sport for other countries. But the most talented players are Nigerians doing it somewhere else. But we can just bring them here, grow up the talent we have. We can be able to build a very, very physically fit and mentally fit children.
When you mention the best in the world, a lot of Nigerians, what you're trying to say that they have a lot of Nigerians who are competing for England, US, Germany.
Exactly.
One of the best. But because they are not competing for Nigeria, we don't know them.
Exactly.
Now, I saw there some para-handball players. They call them special players. You also trying to reach out to them.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out to them. I got emotional meeting them, talking to them, you know. The thing is that I know how the stigma is in Nigeria. People are quite afraid of them. They don't know what they are because they are not physically complete like everybody else, but they are physically, mentally complete. They are talented guys. All they need is just support. What they asked me for, I talked to them. The only thing they asked me for were the rollerblades. They didn't where they sit, because they do it themselves. So all they asked for was the rollerblades. And in the moment I thought for myself, I get these kits and get these jerseys, I get these things from Germany. All I have to do is go to the clubs in Germany and say, hey, do you guys need those blades? They'll say, oh, we don't need it. Okay, fine, we'll get you some new ones. And that is what I'm going to do. Go to Germany, get those blades, send it to them. And what I do, they put the boards on it and they have their kids. We also assist them when it comes to training. And I will try to get as many handicapped. I said this word. Handicap is not a good word to use for it, because they are not handicapped. Para, exactly, because
athletes.
Because they are so emotional. They are so physically. If you see them play, they move very, very fast. They are very, very talented. So if we can get as many of these guys who are just instead of sitting down on the street
or begging,
get them into sports.
Para soccer, para athletes, para handball.
Exactly. You see competitions. The only reason why we would not have a chance to make them compete on that day was because of time. Time constraint. If not, we would have put them so that we have a video and we will show. And this is what we are going to do in future and encourage them. And I am really impressed with what I saw with them, and we're going to keep on encouraging them.
Now, when it comes to these kits that you share for these kids, I saw that you have about 5 area councils that attended the event.
Yes.
That's Kuje, Kwali, Abaji, Amak, and
yeah, exactly.
Buhari. And
Buhari, exactly.
Well,
yeah, Buhari.
getting these kids together, all you needed to do was to reach out to the
area councils, to the coaches, to the area council and to the coaches, because we in the handball world. The members of my organization, of my foundation, are mostly handballers or athletics guys, or from all over the world, and from all other sports. So they know the inside of sports. So we know the inside of sports in Nigeria. If I want to say, okay, I want to give jerseys to Edo State handball players, I know where to find them. I know who to call to get them. In any sport in this country, we can find them and give them assistance if they need some. But what we need is also the help of Nigerians also to do this. We have to also make Nigerians understand that sport is important. It takes you out of your daily life and puts you somewhere where you are just you and your team, or just you alone if you're playing table tennis. It's just you sweating it out, just to do your stuff. And if you can get people to just understand that there are other ways to live, that just grinding and just trying to make it from A to B. There are other ways to live, there are other ways you can also make it, and sports is a very, very good way to do it.
Good one. We've been talking with Richard Agbonifo, ex-international handball player who has really trying to develop sport in Nigeria. We're sharing kits with the young ones out there, under 12, under 15, and even under 18 in the FCT. 5 local area councils where he actually did this just to help develop sports in Nigeria. Now, before we wrap it up, let's look at Nigerian sport, grassroots sport development. Which way do you think we can get it better? Because a lot of people have been talking, but let's hear from your own view.
My own view is, if we just stop being selfish. That's just the truth. We are selfish. Whenever we get to a position which we know, or if it's politics or anywhere, when we get to a position, the first thing we do is, how do I make myself rich in this position? How do I get for myself in this position? And if you go with any mindset into anything you are doing, it's already a lost cause. Everybody I have in my foundation, I told them, first of all, you're not here to make money, you're here to help. We have an interview with them. What do you want to do? What do you want to do for these kids? And when we know, okay, these guys are really serious about this one, do something for the kids, we let them in. All I can say for the sports association, for the sports councils, for our federation as a whole, don't think of yourself. Think of the children. Think of the athletes. Think of what you can do to improve the lives of these athletes. If you can do that, just be selfless. If you can do that, when the kids improve in life, you will get something from it. Just to know that we have kids in our scholarship program. If I just quickly say this now, in our scholarship program, we help kids to go to school, education. Kids, we pick from them from the streets, who the parents cannot do anything to help them to school. We pick them from the streets, help them to go to school, give them training kids, pick a sport. They go to school and do sports, and we make sure that they don't hawk again. We make sure that they don't go to work again. Yeah. So the thing is that what we're trying to do is, education is very, very important. If you can add this education to sports and make kids, they don't need much. Government gives a lot of money for sport development. It's not just the money. All you need is transportation, competition, and that is that, and training kits, and that is all for the first time. I was surprised. Some area council said to me, "Thank you for the jerseys. All we need is ball." They are playing handball, but they don't have ball. They are playing basketball, but they don't have ball, and they are playing for the area councils. So you ask yourself, area council, what are they doing there? A sports organization that don't have the sports amenities, what are they doing there? So if they just have that, kids will come out to play. I was going to training when there was nobody there. Take my handball, trek from area 1 to area 10 with my ball in the hand. When I finish training, I go back, I bounce my ball, I go home. Sleep with my ball as a pillow. Kids do this all the time. All they need is they just want to play. And if they want to play, and that is the best way, bring up a child the way he should grow. And when he grows, you never depart from it.
What a word there coming from Richard Agbonifo, who has been talking about how we can get it right concerning Nigerian sport development. We need to focus on the youth, the young ones there, by being selfless. Make sure whatever position you are holding concerning administrating sport, just do well. Make sure you develop sport in Nigeria. We need to get it. We have a lot of talent nooks and crannies across this nation, and we can get the best out of it. Coming from Richard Agbonifor, who really has tried his best to make sure he develops sport and also help kids to go back to school. Right now, sharing kits to them in handball across different local councils in Abuja. Well, I want to appreciate your time for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm Adeni Ajishafe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.